And you thought that bribing me with a chocolate croissant would do the trick? 3 chocolate croissants. I knew it. Grandma Loretta finally showed me mercy and slid the bag down the bar in my direction. You eat, I'll talk. I can play by those rules. I pulled the first chocolate croissant out of the bag, taking a bite. Half Moon Vineyards is not doing so well, Grandma Loretta said. I nodded, chewing. Saw that coming from a mile away. Well, then you know the big hotel chains will try to scoop up that property and turn it into a resort. Hilton, Marriott, Best Western. They're all probably drooling over the thought of it. Either that or another winery will gobble them up. Regardless, unless a miracle drops in their lap, they will have to sell the place. That would be just so sad. Because history will repeat itself. I took another bite of the croissant, feeling sad for Ivy Dobbs, the proprietor of Half Moon Vineyards. My family had owned her winery 3 generations ago, but my great-grandfather, Grandma Loretta's dad, sold the property when he had gotten into financial difficulties. Our family had been uprooted after that, leaving Napa Valley and Half Moon Vineyards behind before relocating 40 minutes west to a property in Petaluma. That's when Dizzy Dog Estates had been born. The family had been grateful to squeeze enough money out of the sale to buy something else, albeit much smaller, but it was almost as if we were kicked out of the Cool Kids Club when we had left Napa. Still, our business was a well-oiled machine, and you would never hear us complaining. My older brother Alex and I had taken over the winery from our parents 5 years ago, although Mom and Dad still liked to lend a hand when they weren't traveling around the world. Alex was a control freak, so I let him handle the day-to-day operations, sales, and employees, while I focused on marketing and winemaking. My grandparents lived on the property with me, in their own house, and I loved having them around, especially when Grandma was spoiling me or bribing me with treats. What does Half Moon Vineyards' problem have to do with me becoming a thief and most likely going to jail? I mean, seriously, can you just see me trying to tuck a vine down my pants, or using it as a belt and praying nobody pays any attention to it? Are you out of your mind? I took the last bite of the first chocolate croissant. Quite possibly, but when Half Moon is gone, with it goes our family legacy. I just want you to secure a piece of what's rightfully ours. Go get one of those grapevines and plant it here. You said you've been wanting to make a blend. The grapes from that vineyard are out of this world, so now's your chance to combine them with our grapes. There was a tug at my heart. What I could do with the combination of Great-Grandpa's grapes mixed with mine. The reds, whites, and rosés of the old country meeting the new country. Blended wines made from different types of grapes or varietals were very popular. I had been wanting to find superior grapes from another grower to mix with ours to come up with what I was sure would be the world's greatest wine. I had already thought of combining our grapes with Half Moon's, but I had read an article that said Ivy Dobbs was a purist and only wanted to work with her own grapes. Yeah, there was no way someone like that would share her grapes, even if she knew they came from my family. I licked chocolate off my finger and glanced back over at my grandma. Do you know how long it would take to reestablish a grapevine here and yield enough grapes out of the harvest to actually do something with them? Grandma Loretta placed her hands on her hips. I'm a patient woman. It would take 3 years if I managed to get the cutting I needed, although I would need to get more than a few in case the first one didn't take. But if I could manage to get older, more established grafts to splice into my existing vines, they'd produce by the next growing season. That was a long shot, though. I froze, wondering what was going on with my brain. I was actually giving credence to Grandma Loretta's crazy idea and jumping in headfirst when I wanted nothing to do with it. I wagged my finger at my grandma. Nice try getting me to analyze the process. Grandma Loretta smiled. That wasn't me. That's your conscience telling you to do the right thing. Besides, I know you'd blend something extraordinary that the entire world would be talking about. It would be worth the wait. I appreciate your confidence in my winemaking abilities. I pulled a napkin from the bag and wiped my mouth. And I agree that combining our grapes could produce something very special. But what you're suggesting is not how things are done. This isn't the wild, wild west, and I'm not a thief. Oh...